Alright, hello everyone. And today we're gonna be doing something a little bit new. This is a little bit harder than I thought. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to cast as they're trying to decide their maps. So I did end up missing one of the bands because it is very difficult to cast while I'm talking. But this is something I do want to get better at. This is something I'm going to keep trying to do. And eventually one day I'll be able to get this to work properly. But anyway, we do have 3 bands. I did miss the second band for Fino and Ñofi. But the rest of the bands I did manage to collect. And I will let you know what map they decided on in 1 second. I just want to wait to make sure we also get into the lobby. But anyway, welcome everyone to a nice Friday night, a perfect night to watch some heroic NGS action. Today we do have the 3rd place Kirkland signature Muffins versus the 4th place Fino and Ñofi. And this should be a pretty exciting matchup. They're right next to each other in the rankings. There is a little bit of a point gap in favor of the Kirkland signature Muffins, but definitely not something that would lead me to believe that this will be a one-sided game at all. And I've watched Fino and Ñofi play quite a few times at this point. I believe this will be my 2nd or 3rd cast of them. Not that I'm trying to favor them or anything, just their schedule ends up lining up really nicely with mine, so those are the games I do pick up. But anyway, I'm really excited to be able to cast this game. This is going to be yet another day of high-level HOTS action. And for those of you that were here on my last stream, you may have noticed that my computer did crash at one point during... Oops. Doing the wrong thing. You may have noticed that my computer did crash midway through the cast last time. Sorry, 1 second. I do need to reply to this. But yeah, anyway, my computer did crash partway through the last cast. I've found the issue, and I am trying to... how do I put this? I'm trying to solve it. I do have a temporary solution. But there is a chance that it might go wrong slightly today, but I don't believe it will. So the issue is I do need to get a new cable. So this isn't just a software issue or a setup issue. I will need to buy some new hardware. So it will take me some time. I'm going to experiment with some other fixes as well, just so I don't have to spend any of the extra money. But just warning you ahead of time. Most likely everything will be okay, but if not, I am able to load back into the games pretty quickly. I think I was back in the last game within about 2 minutes, so. Yeah, lobby is about to get made here, and now that we know the maps, I'm going to go to just a short break just to get a little bit of an ad buffer so that we do not get ads mid-game. And I'll be back with you in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. All right, and we are into draft now for game number 1 between Fino and Ñofi and Kirkland signature muffins. The absolute best muffins. Minus the ones that my girlfriend makes. But we're not going to talk about those because you can't buy those in stores. Anyway, this is going to be a... So we are going to see a lot of bands starting coming out. We are going to be in Tomb of the Spider Queen first. That's going to be the first map of the day. And with that map selected in, it is a smaller map, so globals, once again, not quite as valuable, though Dahaka is still picked pretty often here, just due to the ease of clear speed. Being able to double soak is very important here as well, so... Sorry, 1 second. I do need to type this in chat. But anyway, so the first band does come out. And we do have Lucio currently being the first band over for the side of Fino and Ñofi, and Maev is currently getting banned out from the side of Kirkland signature Muffins. But yeah, so no real picks or bans happening quite yet. We're still waiting on the second ban coming out from the side of Fino and Ñofi, and Garrosh is going to be the ban here. So now with Garrosh banned out, my immediate first thought whenever I see a Garrosh ban is who's picking Diablo, because that's usually the hardest counter to the Diablo, especially in the tank v tank matchup. Garrosh is able to interrupt pretty much everything that Diablo wants to do aggressively, while at the same time not being too scared to go play into Diablo himself. Now Junkrat is going to be this next ban, and Hogger will be the first pick over for Shoepuff. So very quick pick. They knew they wanted the Hogger. Hogger, once again, very strong character, very good on this map. Hog Wild to take out that bot lane siege camp. Very good for that. And also is able to get kills very quickly onto the bruiser camp. And being able to get those neutrals faster is always good. And we do see... Sorry, I believe I may have these teams backwards right now, actually. Let me just quickly double check. Ñofi is Avino. Yeah, these teams are backwards. So let me just swap those sides. And now everything makes more sense. But yeah, and that's Diablo and Sylvanas. Picked up over by Fino or Ñofi. And the Diablo is going to be able to do a lot. Like I said, the main counter to Diablo is that Garrosh. Other than that, you're not really too worried about what the enemy team's picking, what kind of style they're playing. Diablo will always be able to do something. And now, anyway... Yeah, now we have the Jaina and the Anduin picked up on the side of Kirkland's signature Muffins. Wait. One second. Oh, man. Today has not been starting off well. Yeah, anyway, so with the Anduin and the Jaina picked up over on the side of Kirkland's signature Muffins, it does add a lot of freedom for them in terms of pick. They have not locked in their tank yet. They still have the Anduin. And with the Anduin locked in, the Genji was banned out over by the side of Fino and Ñofi, because Genji is hard to... the light bomb combo with Genji is very difficult to play into. It's not something you want to give up. And then the Blaze banned, just because Blaze is a strong character. As we do see Brightwing and Leoric locked in over by the side of Fino and Ñofi. So with Brightwing and Leoric, that's going to be a lot of global pressure coming in from the Brightwing. Leoric, very solid offlaner. Can fight Hogger as well. And, sorry, but we do have the Tyrael Sergeant Hammer coming out for Kirkland signature Muffins. And the Sergeant Hammer especially is a very interesting pick. It is a little bit of a niche in a draft and a little bit worrisome when they do have one more pick available for Fino and Ñofi. Because Sergeant Hammer, if you don't have a way to play into it, it is very difficult to have anything happen during your games. But otherwise, you can do so much with it. And they do end up picking Chromie. You do need someone with range to be able to reach the Sergeant Hammer. But if you don't have that range, there's really not much you can do about it. And that really changes who I was going to favor. I do think both of these teams have solid drafts. I don't think I really favor any team more than the other. But I do think Mundane Zebra should have a pretty easy time on that Sergeant Hammer as we do head into game number 1. Alright, and we are in game number 1. We're already loaded in and ready to go. So now, who do we have playing over on these two sides? Which picks are they going to go for? And which lanes are they going to start playing into? We are seeing Mundane Zebra immediately going towards that top side. Now, whether they stay there with that Sergeant Hammer or not remains to be seen. I do expect the Sergeant Hammer will kind of be hanging out in this area of the map and just kind of going between the mid and the top lane while the offlaners both hang out in the bot lane, as there is that long distance between the bot lane and the mid lane. Now both sides gonna start grouping up mid. Not a lot of damage going back and forth. Don't KS me, bro. Just gonna land a little bit of poke over on a Moon, which will get immediately healed up. As you do see the overpower on the DH Bob into the Shadow Charge, not into the wall, so no stun there. And Don't KS me, bro, still able to get a decent amount of poke going off between the two teams. And now they are starting to group over towards top. And Mundane Zebra, kind of like I expected, shoved out the top side and will start grouping over towards mid. They do have more pressure, so Mundane Zebra is able to walk a little bit further. And they are cheating towards bot side, maybe trying to threaten Toru, but Toru not going to be too worried about it. Will have the Wraith walk if anything. And Avina Quaker ready onto the side and able to get the Shadow Charge onto Jägermeister. Jägermeister has to run, gets the time lock as well. And the Leap of Faith will pull him away. Very sneaky play coming out from Avina Quaker. Trying to get that pick early is always important, especially on Diablo. You're able to get 2 rounds of crowd control. And if you have good follow-up, you can definitely make sure to get a kill there, but the Leap of Faith is too good, as the Bruiser Camp has been started over by the Kirkland signature Muffins. But Diaco and Fox Darkness have started on this... they have started over on this bot side siege camp. And they're going to be able to clear it out. They have not started on their Bruiser Camp, so maybe that'll be a point of contention for the Kirkland signature Muffins. But it's a lot harder to contest this just because it is so deep into the enemy territory. But Moon, gonna be getting hit. Shadow Charge onto them and the overpower. Now Moon's kind of stuck, but Tora and Diaco are both low. And they are still trying to finish off Moon, but Moon's able to run away. We'll get the final root off, and we'll be able to get to safety. A lot of damage going both ways. And now, all the gems are starting to be collected. They're already at 32 gems, and Mundane Zebra sieges up and starts blowing away that bot side cannon tower. And now this is the hard part about dealing with this Sergeant Hammer, because you can just kind of stay there, and really there's not much they can do. If they don't have the damage, Shootpuff is able to just kind of pull them away. Now that they have the Chroma here, they're able to poke out in range, and that's kind of where you see that 10th pick coming into play for Don't KS Me, bro. As you do get the Shadow Charge onto it, a Leap of Faith, and Mundane Zebra barely able to get away with just 100 HP, forced to also blast them away. We do see Fox Darkness, and Diaco will end up clearing up their siege camp, but DH Bob wants to contest it. Gets polymorphed and thrown down. And meanwhile, we did get first blood over the bot side off screen, as Toru gets taken out. DH Bob still going to be chased, but will be able to run away. Yeah, we weren't able to see how that first blood came down, but it was in favor of Kirkland signature Muffins, as Mundane Zebra is getting auto-attacked by Avina Quaker. Phase Shift is going to come out, and so much damage over on Mundane Zebra. Just one more hit, and they are able to get it. Toru respawns, able to get the final shot up, and that's going to be the trading of kills. So 1 for 1 now. As Avina Quaker also getting low, taking a few extra tower shots, but we'll be okay. We'll be able to just walk it off, and in fact, we'll hearth back to base. And now we do have a pretty solid push happening in the mid lane. And Toru able to get a lot of damage over on a Jägermeister, who will have to tap in that fountain. As the mid lane is starting to get shoved out, Jägermeister just walking up, getting as many auto attacks as possible, but not able to really provide any pressure. They will clear out the wave. Half of the wall is down. Diaco having to run away, not able to quite finish off that top lane tower. Just a little bit left, as they do get the Shadow Charge over on the Jägermeister. Jägermeister stuck in the middle of everyone. Don't KS Me, bro, will pick that kill up. And slowly but surely getting a lot more kills over in their favor. And they get all that bot lane pressure. But in the meanwhile, on the top side, they were able to hand in all of their gems that the Web Weavers will be spawning. They won't have the Jaina to help push, and the Jaina is able to knock down those towers pretty well. So a little bit of a respite is going to come out, as DH Bob also gets hit. Shadow Charge into the wall. Polymorph, very low HP, able to dash away last second, and healed up over by Moon. Now the Web Weavers have summoned. The mid lane one is going to be pushed in by Bob, and Jägermeister kind of helping zone out. But the one in the top side with the siege of Mundane Zebra, that's where all the real damage is going to start coming out. They're going to try sieging for this, and Mundane Zebra is able to get in range to hit onto this tower. And in fact, is able to hit onto Don't KS Me Bro as well, and so much damage coming up. But the issue is Mundane Zebra is also going to get Shadow Charged, able to get that cleanse to prevent the overpower. And that cleanse, well, has saved his life. Emun's going to heal them back up. They don't end up losing this top fort. Half of the health is going to be gone. The wall's taken considerable damage over the mid side, and the wall's been entirely taken out on the bot side. But in the meanwhile, Shadow Charge hit onto DH Bob, and Avina Quaker will get the overpower as well at the same time now. Tora hitting on his Shoe Puff. Shoe Puff doesn't seem to have the Hog Wild, but will be able to just walk away anyway. As the siege does continue over in this top side. Avina Quaker is running in, gets onto Mundane Zebra. Nope, we'll have to go over on DH Bob as Mundane Zebra is able to dash away. But they are able to kind of push them off of this fort for now. And it seems like this top fort is going to be their pressure. Where they're going to be trying to force it in. But now Toru going to walk up and try to prevent this mercenary camp from going over. But Toru's slightly too late. Did have the HP bar advantage. If that came to push comes to shove, he would have been able to win there. Now DH Bob running in to Avina Quaker. It is 2v3 as Mundane Zebra trying to walk towards this tower, towards this fort, just to deal as much damage as possible. A lot of damage going back and forth, but still able to get so many auto attacks off onto this fort, and they're not really able to deal with it as there is a fight happening in the bot side as Diaco going to get phase shifted on top of. Shoepuff still trying to finish off the tower. Level 10s have been hit now, and Jägermeister is trying to deal with everyone here. And Shoepuff able to get two. Jägermeister and Shoepuff able to get both. And they also managed to claim that siege camp. And now Toru trying to fight against both of them. They're both so low, but so is Toru. 3 for 1 in favor of the Kirkland signature Muffins. And on top of that, they were able to finish off that topside fort and have grouped up mid with that bruiser camp that they were able to take. And should be able to just force this down as well. The mid lane fort will also go down in favor of the Kirkland signature Muffins. The fort is hitting on to Zebra, but that's lightning breath coming through, but invulnerable. They actually went with the dome, not the light ball or light bomb. So that's a lot of extra protection, and the lack of dive is really starting to come through. And this pick of the Sergeant Hammer is truly brilliant, and they're able to make great use of it. The bruiser camp will get stolen as well. So Kirkland signature Muffins, in that one little bit of in 1 minute, they were able to take so much off the map and get themselves so many advantages. But now Toru coming off onto the side. Avina Quaker trying to start this fight. They're not able to. They do get the entomb over on Jägermeister, and Jägermeister will get pulled in. But Leap of Faith will come out, and this Ring of Winter is able to get everyone. And now the Polymorph will land just in time over on the Shoepuff. But in the meanwhile, Toru dies on the backline, trying to zone away their backline. But they were not able to get the damage they needed. They were not able to get the follow-up. And just like that, they're able to continue with this push. They still have a few of these bruiser camps. Mundane Zebra is still at full HP and is starting to siege up, as they are able to get the overpower this time and the polymorph. But again, no damage able to follow up with that kind of range. Now Hog Wild coming out for Shoepuff. Not too much they can do with it, as we do have the Shadow Charge coming in. Jägermeister is going to get pushed away. Mundane Zebra very low HP, but with those jets able to get away. And they absolutely decimated this wall. And in fact, we see the hero minion over here trying to kill this wall as well. They're going to try being able to hand this in. They only need 19 more. And 9 more now, as the 10 of Don't KS Me Bro were managed to be turned in. But both sides now have enough gems to be able to spawn the web weavers. And we do see Diaco is topside, does not quite have enough to be able to spawn those web weavers. And that's kind of what they need at this point, just to be able to help alleviate some of this pressure. Level 13s now coming out. Moon is stuck in the entomb, but they just cannot approach. And Shoepuff uses the Hortipole to be able to grab all of them. And Avina Quaker stuck on their own. Gets separated by the Circle of Winter. Fox Darkness trying to run away. Just a little bit of health left, but not able to finish them off. Now Toru has to Wraith Walk away, taking so much damage in the backside, but hasn't been able to get that far away. And in fact, will just get jumped upon as well. And Toru also goes down. Another kill going over towards the Kirkland signature Muffins. And it's now 8-2-3, and they're going to get started on the boss. They're starting to build themselves a very decently sized advantage. It is even Talontiers for now. It's still going to be a level and a half away until they hit that 16. And that's going to be their next power spike. And with this boss, maybe if they're able to get some web weavers. But in fact, no, Diaco will spawn the blue web weavers. So this boss will be slightly delayed. The boss is definitely a lot stronger than the web weavers, but we'll still be able to get a lot of pressure with it. And they'll also be able to kind of use those web weavers to help pressure out their mid lane, help pressure out their bot lane. So they don't have to worry about any of those other lanes. However, the side of Kirkland Signature Muffins decides, you know what, we're not going to push in with this. We're just going to let it stay where it's at. We're going to clear away those web weavers, let the boss just deal a little bit of damage to the wall. We don't need this. What we have right now is a perfect defense against the web weavers. Those web weavers were able to accomplish nothing. All they managed to do was delay the pressure and the push from the Kirkland Signature Muffins. But because of that time, the Kirkland Signature Muffins were able to get their level 16. And now Shoepuff already used the Hog Wild, so no extra escape, but we'll be able to just run it out. As Toru gets in the backline, is able to get the Entomb onto Jägermeister, but Leap of Faith will come out. 2 major cooldowns used, but I believe the Entomb is a slightly longer cooldown than the Leap of Faith. Now DH Bomb is starting to run in, as we do see the Hortipult coming out, able to knock them away. Sands of Time coming through. Or sorry, Slowing Sands coming through, but not going to be able to catch onto anyone. It is still a level and a half until Fino and Ñofi is able to match with their level 16 talent. And I'm wondering if they're planning on handing this in. And they are going to. They just want to make sure they start on that Bruiser camp and on that Siege camp, so that they're able to finish off both of those camps in conjunction with the Web Weaver spawn. And this is going to be a pretty major push. They're going to have the extra mercenaries pushing through the bot side. Going to have extra mercenaries pushing through the mid lane. And then on top of that, they will always have that Sergeant Hammer, that Mundane Zebra, being able to deal so much damage over to these buildings from a very long distance. Now DH Bob going to run into a Vina Quaker, so not too many worries there. They will stop DH Bob with the time. But that's not going to end up accomplishing anything, just a slight delay, slight inconvenience. And now the siege has begun. Between Jägermeister's range on that Jaina and Mundane Zebra just walking around hitting those towers. Those towers and that entire wall goes away in no time at all. And now they're sieging up over onto this keep. And if they're able to get this keep as well, it's going to be a lot of lane pressure coming out from them. The 2 siege camps as well helping out as the Bruiser camp is getting cleared out through mid. And we do see the Shadow Charge coming through. They're able to get another Shadow Charge over on a DH Bob. Circle of Winter coming through, but so is the Lightning Breath. But Lightning Breath not going to be able to do anything with the Dome. Massive silence coming out as well from, from the Sylvanas. And they're able to get the root onto Avina Quaker. Avina Quaker still very healthy, also has tap. And both sides just so low. The invulnerability has come out over from DH Bob. And in the backline, they're able to kill onto Diaco, who accidentally went through over on that wave. Now Mundane Zebra still just hitting over from the distance. Toru dies in the backside as well. And another root over onto Vina Quaker. Vina Quaker starting to get low. Is going to use that Shadow Charge and is just getting hit by Mundane Zebra. Just a few more auto attacks to cleanse to prevent that slow, to let them just run away. They're able to do that. And Moon almost gets taken out on the backside as well. The core dealing so much damage to them. And they're even able to get a little bit of damage over onto that core. The mid keep also going to go down. Shadow Charge into overpower. Avina Quaker just trying to delay as Toru respawns and is trying to jump onto Mundane Zebra, but once again is just going to get zoned away. Avina Quaker taking so much damage. Mundane Zebra just free hitting over behind. And even in the Entomb, doesn't even try to walk away, just stands there, holds the ground, and keeps firing away the cannons. So now they have been able to clear this out, and the top lane keep has also gone. Those web weavers had incredible value. 3% core damage. All 3 lanes completely clear now. DH Bob will reset for mana. And Kirkland Signature Muffins have a stupendous lead coming into this first game. And half a level left until they hit their 20s. They do not have enough gems to get another set of web weavers. But once they hit their 20s, they may not even need them. They may be able to just group together with Mundane Zebra and just siege down these towers. There's nothing on the map they really need to worry too much about once they do hit those level 20s. As Shoepuff and Jägermeister gonna walk down to collect the siege camp. We are seeing Avita and Quaker is just kind of hanging out in the bushes, maybe looking for a pick, maybe just trying to scout them out. As Toru is going to get phase shifted on, and they do have the Entomb, but Leap of Faith is too good. And DH Bob is going to be stuck in the Entomb. But in the meanwhile, Avita Quaker's taking so much damage, and so is Toru. Toru goes down immediately. Jägermeister still DPSing over behind, trying to chase down Avita Quaker. And Mundane Zebra is charging in aggressively. Isn't scared of anything, and Avita Quaker goes down as well. And Diaco, trying to deal damage onto the backside, is able to get so much damage on a Moon, but Circle of Winter not going to land over onto anyone. And Diaco, alone 1v3 in the backside, is trying to make some kind of plays happen, but Moon and Jägermeister are able to just blow them up. And now Shoopuf in the meanwhile is trying to hit 1v3, and is taking a lot of damage, and in fact, with the Lightning Breath, will go down. So that's going to be 1 kill. Trade it over for Fino and Ñofi, but is that even enough? Toru will be respawning, so it is going to be a 4-on-4 on the map. Offlaner and DPS going to be down for both sides of the map. Now, Mundane Zebra still hitting so much damage. Toru gets the Entomb, doesn't really care. They have the answer to it. They have the Leap of Faith. But in the meanwhile, DH Bob gets hit down in the mid lane, but the Dome of Protection coming out from Moon to keep the team alive. Anytime they're able to get some kind of offensive play, they have the answer for it on Kirkland signature Muffins. And they do get Avita Quaker rooted, and just a lot of DPS. Jägermeister continuing to poke them out. And now they have the cannons here. They have siege monsters. And this core is already at 30%. 20%. Are they going to be able to end it here? Avita Quaker trying to do some kind of aggressive play. They're trying to hit as far as possible. They are able to get Avita Quaker. But the final cannon shot. The cannon died as it was flying in the air. And game number 1 goes to Kirkland signature Muffins. And what a clean game coming out from Kirkland signature Muffins. That pick onto Sergeant Hammer, just having that in the draft. Look at that. 91k player damage, 175k building damage. And they were able to play it so well. Normally you see the light bomb coming out from the Anduin, but they knew with their team comp, the way they wanted to play, they didn't need to be aggressive. They don't need to engage. They don't need to worry about stuns. All they need to worry about is keeping Mundane Zebra alive. And with the lack of engage from the side of Fino and Ñofi, it was a perfect Sergeant Hammer game. And with the talents and the playstyle that they employed from Kirkland signature Muffins, it was going to be a very difficult game for Fino and Ñofi. A little bit of a draft difference coming in, and you have to respect it. And that's what I love about HOTS. Draft really matters. Now we're going to go on a short break. And when we come back, we'll see if Fino and Ñofi is able to bring this back in game number 2. And we are back with map number 2, Battlefields of Eternity. And now this is going to be a very different map compared to the first one. You're kind of forced to fight over on this map. A Sergeant Hammer strategy is definitely not going to bring you as much success as it did over on the previous map on Tomb of the Spider Queen. And what will give you a lot more success over on Battlefield of Eternity will be characters like Vala, Li Ming. I'm a little bit of a broken record when it comes to this map, but it's because it's always true. It's always remained true. And they're going to be the picks at least until the new patch does come out. I'm not even sure when it's out. In fact, it might even be live as far as I know. I haven't had the chance to play quite yet ever since the new season began. But anyway, we do see the bans coming out. Lucio going to be banned once again from Kirkland signature Muffins. And I don't expect too much different bans. Besides potentially like the Vala trying to get rid of any of those heroes that are good at racing. But I do think something like the Maiev would still be a good ban over on this map. While not quite as prevalent on Battlefield of Eternity, still able to make a lot of plays. And if you're not trying to focus on the racing aspect, but instead you're trying to team fight and zone them away, Maiev could still bring in a lot of pain. Garrosh going to be the second ban once again from Kirkland signature Muffins. I've seen Garrosh banned against a Vina Quaker every single game I've casted, and I'm yet to see a Vina Quaker play Garrosh. One day I want that to slip through so that I can see just what it is every team's afraid of. I'm sure there's a reason why everyone bans it. As we do see the Hogger going to be the 4th ban coming out through this ban phase. First pick is available. There are a couple heroes still available, like Greymane or Li Ming, that are going to absolutely shred through the Immortals. As we see, Li Ming is picked up by Jägermeister. And now, this is a question for Fino and Ñofi. Li Ming has been picked up, so do you want to match or and try to race against them? In which case, you would pick something like Greymane, Zul'jin, maybe even Raynor, though I don't really... I have seen Raynor picked on this map, but I don't expect Raynor to be picked up on this map. Or do they want to go for something more fight-oriented? They did pick Sylvanas and Stukov, so with those two, you can kind of go either way. Sylvanas is able to DPS pretty well onto the Immortals. Not quite as fast as Li Ming, but if it's not your primary racing hero, you could definitely still consider racing, especially if you do pick up something else that's also not quite a racing hero, but also with fast DPS. Now, Kirkland signature Muffins, typically they've gone all in on whatever strat they're playing, as they do pick up Joanna and Anduin. So they're also kind of keeping their options open, leaving their second DPS and their offlaner to the next phase of picks. Genji's going to be banned once again. With the Anduin's picked, you gotta ban the Genji. I don't think it would be worth picking up for Fino Ñofi. I think without the Anduin on Battlefield of Eternity, it's not the best pick, just because you do lose out on a lot of that potential immortal damage. And the Hanzo is going to be banned out as well. Strong utility pick, and with Hanzo and Sylvanas, they could still consider racing. But yeah, now we're just going to be waiting over on this next set of bans. They still need a tank. There's quite a few good ones available. They pick up the Chen, but Diablo and Muradin are still ready, and they do end up going with the Muradin. And with Chen Muradin, I think they are planning on fighting more, because Chen's not going to DPS at all. Chen can be used as a zoning tool, but could also be used kind of to play interference. It's very difficult to try racing against a Chen. And in fact, now that I think about it a little bit more, being able to drink and then having that massive shield popping up for Toru, it's one of the few heroes that can just stand there and block all the orbs and magical missiles coming out from Jägermeister. And Artanis Samuro picked up, so secondary DPS Samuro. And Shupuff over on the Artanis. They're definitely going all in on the racing here. But at the same time, with Samuro, they're also going to be able to fight pretty well. I do want them to pick another dive hero here. I want them to focus on fighting. They're not going to be able to outrace this team comp no matter who they pick here. So I want to see someone who's able to fight. And Melthil is the perfect pick for that. Joanna or Tannis both have a lot of HP. Melthil's able to go in, able to dash away. Will have the execute as well. I think Melthil is a very strong pick, and it does show that Fino and Ñofi, they're where they're not going to be able to race these Immortals. They're where they're going to have to fight. And I'm really excited to see how they're going to be able to play this out. Kirkland Signature Muffins, in every game I've watched, they've impressed me with their macro play and their ability to play the comps the way they're designed. But we'll see who comes through in game number 2. All right, and we are in. Now, what I am seeing right away is Shoopuf is going to be grouping with a team. They're going to be sending Mundane Zebra off into the off lane. Now, Mundane Zebra is going to be able to be a pretty strong off laner, able to clear out very quickly. Not going to be under any threat at all. But in the meanwhile, they are also grouping all 4 over the bot side, and Toru may start going through the mid lane and might do a 5v4 over in the bot side, but right now neither side really hard committing over onto any lane. And as I say that, Shoopuf and Jägermeister dealing so much damage over to the tower right away, and DH Bob going to take half the HP. Diaco now grouping in as well. Not going to be able to accomplish too much of anything. They were able to get decent poke over onto DH Bob and Shoopuf, but Moon will be able to heal it away. DH Bob walking right in, and Don't Cast Me Bro just doing so much damage to them. And now DH Bro has to... Moon has to pull him away with a leap of faith. And we're kind of seeing how both these comps we do want to play. Bob is taking so much damage, even with that steel skin. The Melthil able to deal out so much DPS. Now Shoopuf gets Storm Hammered and Silence over on top. DH Bob running into the team and is already at half HP, but Don't KS Me Bro gets swapped in by Shoopuf. Not going to be able to follow up with it, but... Oh, Diago gets a huge orb to the face from Jägermeister. And now both sides are starting to get really low. The swap barely misses out over on Fox Darkness. Sorry, the Phase Prism. As we do see a little bit of rotation. And in fact, Toru able to 1v1 the Samuro top side. I thought maybe with Diaco coming up they could make a play, but Toru didn't even need Diaco. But what Diaco will be able to do is start pressuring over onto the Siege Camp. And dealt with Stormhammer from Avina Quaker. Sorry, just a single Stormhammer. Tries to use the Dwarf Toss to get onto the backline, but will get pulled back by DH Bob. And Fox Darkness and Avina Quaker just trying to DPS and clear these waves out as fast as possible. But DH Bob is just so tanky with the Anduin over behind. As there is a fight over by Shoopuf for this camp. But Shoopuf is also going to get incredibly low. And there is fighting happening on both sides. Mundane Zebra also getting hit. Diaco very low, but will survive. The Siege Camp helping out at the bot side. But they were able to kill Moon over the bot side while all of this was happening. And I am noticing in chat, this is the stacking Artanis. So that's gonna be a little bit more of a fighter Artanis. But I find that strange, especially on Battlefields of Eternity. That 50% bonus damage towards the Immortals would be better in my eyes. Maybe they feel like they need that extra DPS, but I think with Samuro, even with Artanis' base strength, it'd be more than enough. As both sides are going to be contesting over onto this camp. DH Bob getting so low, they're going to be able to zone them away, and Fino and Ñofi will collect the Siege Camp, but it's 5v4 on the bot side. Mundane Zebra is grouping up. DH Bob starting to group up in the middle of everyone. Diaco just dealing so much damage over the bot side. The Face Prism will come out from Shoopuf. Not going to have a lot of distance over on it, though. As we do see some trading, and Toru fighting Mundane Zebra again, and Mundane Zebra is so low, trying to run away, fake Toru out. But Toru is hard winning this offlane right now, playing super well. Bob taking a good chunk of DPS once again. And the Immortals have spawned. We are seeing Toru fighting off Shoopuf over onto the Red Immortal. And Don't Cast Me Bro, just going to start DPSing over onto it. And with the Li Ming zoned out, with Jägermeister zoned out by Avina Quaker, the race should go in favor of Fino and Ñofi. And now Diaco trying to run interference alongside Avina Quaker. They are dealing a lot of damage, and Moon kind of getting really low. Can't leap of faith himself, and Moon will be the first to go out. But Diaco's continuing with this, and Avina Quaker also going on a Bob. Will throw out the steel skin, and that will last long enough. They are able to get the hammer, but the Storm Hammer only going to land on Jägermeister. Very low HP, and now halftime has already procced, and it's going to be Toru and Don't KS Me, bro. Just going to be hard DPSing over onto this, and the Avina Quaker is just going to run in and start delaying. Storm Hammer going to land onto a clone. Shoot Puff still here. And Toru's just going to be jumping damage onto Jägermeister, keeping him away from the fight. Now Diako's starting to get low, but with the silence coming out, Fox Darkness able to get so much value out of it. The Immortal's still alive on both sides. Toru and Jägermeister trying to fight it off in the backside. Bob takes a lot of damage over by Fox Darkness. And Diako as well, just trying to deal as much DPS as also to both sides. Both teams not giving away an inch. And in fact, Toru able to solo Jägermeister over the backside, but now Diako is also going to die, trying to delay this DPS, and the Immortal does go down. Toru has a little bit of a flank here, and will be able to jump onto Moon. Will get rooted away, though. The Flame Breath will come out, or what is that ability called? The Keg Smash, the Stagger, and the Flying Kick. All right. So, yeah, with the Stagger, we'll be able to deal a lot of damage over onto Jägermeister. And now level 7 is on the side of Fino and Ñofi, but level 7 is also going to be hit by Kirkland Signature Muffins in just about a second. And there it is. They're able to get their next talents. Black Arrows coming out. Going to help a lot in terms of taking down this bot side wall. A lot of damage over onto Bob as well. And Bob taking down to half HP. A lot of cooldowns forced to be used by Moon. And now Bob coming in, trying to do a little bit of an aggressive play, but the Immortal is still walking through, able to get the bot wall, and gonna get some damage over onto the spot lane fort. However, they should be able to clear this out pretty quickly now. But Bob also taking a lot of DPS. Avina Quaker sidesteps that orb just in time. Shouldn't have been any life-threatening damage. However, Avina Quaker gonna get rooted, and in fact, that's gonna be life-threatening as Jägermeister able to get the last hit over onto that Muradin. And now both sides are now grouping up. We see Toru and Shootpuff trying to trade a little bit, and the phase shift is going to come through with, sorry, not the phase shift, the phase prism, I believe, coming out from Shootpuff. Will be able to keep them away from protecting that top side. And now Kirkland Signature Muffins trying to collect over onto the siege camp, as we do see, nope, just the clones being sent over by Mundane Zebra to just kind of attack onto Diako and Toru. Now Diako is still trying to get some kind of poke down. And both of these teams have been fighting very heavily this entire game. Bob just walking right up, not too worried about anything. Wants to auto-attack over onto Avina Quaker. Now the XP lead is in fact favoring Kirkland Signature Muffins. As a silence is able to come out onto Jägermeister. DH Bomb starting to get pretty low. Forced to use the steel skin. We'll be able to walk it away. And it does say a lot, as we are seeing a fight starting to break through in the top side. Diako and Toru versus Shootpuff and Mundane Zebra. The Stagger gonna come through. And now Diako just dealing as much damage as possible over onto both of them. And Diako is going to be able to, just needs a little bit more damage to be able to finish off Shootpuff as the shield does come out. But the Storm Hammer and Avina Quaker is able to get there in time to help Diako. And they're going to be able to get that kill over onto the Artanis. And now the Bruiser camps have spawned. DH Bomb thought was going to start it, but instead is trying to match Don't KS Me, bro, who has taken down most of this fort. Just a little bit of health remaining. The Immortals have spawned. Mundane Zebra taking some damage. Storm Hammer. And they are picking out the real one, but will be able to swap away to a clone, go invisible, and just run away. Don't KS Me, bro, just DPSing over onto that Immortal. As we do see some damage landing over onto Jägermeister. The silence will come out, but will be a little bit too late. The teleport already being able to be used by Jägermeister. Now a lot of damage coming through, and Li Ming is going to be able to DPS down this Immortal very quickly. But however, it did start a little bit late. Diako just trying to get through on this, and they're starting a fight. They're able to get the pulse onto everyone. Everyone is blind on the side of Fino and Ñofi, but they're able to continue fighting. But the blind will come through, and they will be able to kill off this Melthil. In the middle of this, Avina Quaker also going to get taken down. Now Shootpuff in the middle of the entire enemy team, just jumping onto Toru. Toru will get a face swapped right back in. And Toru just has a little bit of health left. Will be burning down in the final hit by Jägermeister. Will be able to get that. And that's a team fight win for Kirkland Signature Muffins. And with that, they should be able to secure themselves this Immortal as well. Though that being said, it's still 15 seconds before the Chen respawns. The swipes will come out, trying to keep Shootpuff and Moon away from Don't KS Me, bro. But that swipe is coming, is out now. It is halftime. Toru has just respawned. But the positioning and the map control that Kirkland Signature Muffins have is going to make this very difficult to contest. And they're going to go for a fight here again. Avina Quaker running in, able to land the stun over on the moon. And just like that, they're able to start continuing their fight. They're going to be running straight in. Sorry, I need to learn what that ultimate is. The suppression pulse does come through, able to blind a lot of them away. But Fino and Ñofi were successful. They were able to shove them away. Clones coming out from Mundane Zebra. And another Stormhammer landing on a Shoepuff. But Shoepuff is also quite tanky, especially with Moon behind. And now Toru trying to jump over onto Bob. Just kind of keeping them zoned away is always good. Fox Darkness starting to get a little bit low. Avatar is starting to get used by Avina Quaker. And now Diaco over on the bot side. And they're able to deal so much damage. Last rights used onto Jägermeister, but not enough damage. So much healing from Moon. And now Toru trying to kill Jägermeister and will be able to under the tower. But in the meanwhile, the rest of Fino and Ñofi is starting to go down. Don't Cast Me Bro and Avina Quaker very low. And Toru also goes down. Don't Cast Me Bro with the face. Those swap not coming out in time. Avina Quaker will use that Stormhammer to just damage DH Bob. But the Immortal does go down in favor of the Kirkland Signature Muffins. It will land over on this bot site. And they already have the wave shoved in here. They're going to shove in the wave top. And they're going to decide to play it so that... Oh, nope. They're kind of in between a few plays. So Mundane Zebra and Shoepuff are going to be pushing out top, while the rest of the squad is going to group over bot side with the Immortal. Now they're slowly starting to DPS it down. They're going to try and protect this this fort if they're able to. Toru is in top side matching Shoepuff. And they're able to get the Stormhammer on a DH Bob, just kind of delaying as much as possible, trying to throw out as much DPS as possible over towards this Immortal. Now DH Bob taking so much damage, forced to jump out. Mundane Zebra also grouping up bottom, and this fort is gone. And Diaco also kind of getting jumped upon. Mundane Zebra still alive. Avatar was used, but we'll be able to just hop away, swapping spots with the clone. And Avina Quaker will use the Dwarf Toss to get out, but the bot side fort is going to be taken down. Avina Quaker going to use that passive to heal up, but will decide to Hearth instead. And then meanwhile, Shoepuff and Toru starting to fight. 255 stacks now on Shoepuff's Artanis. The bot side siege camp will also get taken down by Kirkland Signature Muffins. And what started off as a little bit of a lead for Fino and Ñofi has really exploded in favor of the Kirkland Signature Muffins. They were able to get that one fight, and every time they win a fight, they're able to get so much out of it. Just through their pressure, they play with so much confidence. And that really allows them to push their leads whenever they're able to finally get them. The Shoepuff just going to clear out this wave. The siege camp will go for the side of Fino and Ñofi. And Toru goes in immediately, going to use that barrel roll. And trying to deal as much damage as possible over, but Toru will go down. Bob starting to get low as well. Avina Quaker not able to really provide the DPS that was needed. A light bomb going to be used. Gets cleansed out over onto Diaco. Diaco still trying to AoE. Mind control landed over on Moon, but not going to be able to get it. But the last rights will be able to finish out Shoepuff. Now Bob still trying to DPS as hard as possible and will be able to get it. Avatar will come out, and look at all that damage coming out from Avina Quaker. They're not going to let Bob run through, and Leap of Faith will come out, but the final little bit of bleed damage will be enough. But in the meanwhile, look at Mundane Zebra. Bot side keep is gone. Mundane Zebra with this siege camp, we were able to finish it off. So it is a fight win for Fino and Ñofi. But look at the map. The map pressure has gone over for this side of Kirkland Signature Muffins. And now Toru also gonna go down to Mundane Zebra. Will be able to tap just to survive barely. They will trade it out with the top side fort. The suppression pulse comes out, but no one's quite able to... but it's not enough to be able to keep their fort alive. Now the race begins. Avina Quaker and Fox Darkness is trying to DPS a little bit, but it is the healer and the tank. Mundane Zebra did get a little bit of poke damage over onto the blue Immortal in the meanwhile. However, also not the best in terms of racing. But now Jägermeister's here, Shoepuff's here. And I did say that talent was a little bit of a risky talent to take, but at 305 stacks, I think at this point dealing plenty of damage. They're able to get the pullback. The mind control did land, but the Leap of Faith was able to pull him out in the meanwhile. Bob taking a decent amount of damage. Now Mundane Zebra walks in. They are able to spot him, but we'll just use the clones and be able to walk away. We'll swap right back onto the Immortal. Stormhammer goes off to the side. Suppression Pulse used onto all three blinded, and that's just going to be another immortal. If they're not able to fight, they're never going to be able to win into a race against Jägermeister and Shupa. The phase swap not able to come out in time. Fino just trying to deal as much damage as possible, as we do have the Wandering K coming through, and they're able to get a lot of pressure. Jägermeister having to teleport behind the wall, but Toru taking so much DPS over in the front, and same with Shupov, has to use the flying kick, but Diaco trying to deal as much damage as possible. The Silence comes out, and the Light Bomb will get onto 2. And all the damage coming out from Monday and Zebra, they're able to group everyone together, and now the Swipe's trying to come through, but it's not enough. Monday and Zebra still running down Toru, and Don't KS Me, we're also getting hit over on the backside. Monday and Zebra just needs one more hit onto Toru, who's walking in and out of those walls, able to utilize the little bit of safety they have over in this mid lane. But in the meanwhile, sorry, I would not expect the Sylvanas to go down there, but Don't KS Me also gets taken down, and now they're going to be able to shove this through with the Immortal, as we do have a pause. WTF, dude, I have the ugliest mount. So I do try to keep chat off during games, but during moments like these, it does help to have chat on, just so we can kind of see the situation. But I'll be honest, it's looking dire for Fino and Ñofi. 18 to 16, and that's not counting all the damage that this Immortal is going to be able to deal. And if they're able to play their cards right, if they're able to get 1 or 2 more picks, they may be able to end the game here. I don't want to jinx it, I don't want to cast or curse it, but it is definitely possible that they're going to be able to get this done. And even if they don't need to. They don't need to really force this win. They don't need to force any aggressive engagements. Right now, this top keep is almost guaranteed gone. What's bot lane looking like? So in the bot lane right now, there is a bruiser camp coming through. And the bruiser camp is looking pretty healthy. The actual shaman is still full HP. Just hitting onto the wall though. So this wall is still healthy. This keep is still healthy. I don't think this wave will be able to take it down. Maybe able to get a little bit of the spot side wall down. But they do have the extra cannon spawning over from Kirkland signature Muffins. And with the keep, with the walls, and these cannon towers, they should be able to kill him. What is the button for this? I have no idea what the button is for this. Just pressing all my keys. Okay, I'll just check my hotkeys. I literally don't know what button it is. If anyone in chat has any idea, please let me know. I can do it like this. Okay. Sorry, my bad. Not used to being in games that have pauses, especially on the caster side. Anyway, we're going to remove the chat. We're going to get started into this game. But yeah, these Immortals are dealing so much damage over to this top side. And like I said, this top keep's not going to survive. And just like that, it is gone. And the Immortal is still going to be able to hit onto this. And while decently healthy, is out of shields, should be able to just get DPS down. And doesn't look like they have any interest in pushing this down by Kirkland signature Muffins. And meanwhile, Shupuff is collecting that bot side. So the bot wall really not taking a lot of damage. Half the damage onto that cannon tower. And a little bit of damage over onto that gate. But now the entire group of Kirkland signature Muffins, they are going to come up here. And they will clear that out. But Shupuff is getting caught a little bit by Vina Quake. A little bit of a mini stun. Toru also here now. Stormhammer landing. I haven't even thrown out the silence yet, and Shupuff is just dead, so good pick by Fino and Ñofi. And they do need to be able to get these kinds of plays, but in the meanwhile, Mundane Zebra is starting to shove out this top side, and is looking to try and poke down this cannon tower over, kind of in the middle of their base, towards where the mid lane normally would be on a map. The bruiser camp does go down for Kirkland signature Muffins, and just a little bit of pressure, a little bit of poke coming out. Fino and Ñofi. They are still showing signs of life, but level 20 is going to get hit by Kirkland signature Muffins. So this is kind of their timer. They need a win here. They're trying to jump on a Moon. Life Bomb is going to be used, but Diaco's still able to get on top. Shield Toss thrown onto everyone. Moon running away as fast as possible, and it's really fast. But Moon also going to get helped by Jägermeister, and Jägermeister will be able to blow up Diaco. Now Jägermeister's still falling through. and they're on their way out. Level 20 has been hit. And in the meanwhile, DH Bob still trying to keep this fight going. Mundane Zebra over on the backside onto Fox Darkness. They are able to get the Wandering Keg over onto Moon. Moon's starting to get very low. Just a little bit more damage left. And Moon will go out. The blind is going to come through. The mind control going to move off through to the side. Toru still hitting onto them. It is a 4v4 once again. But with no healer on the side of Kirkland Signature Muffins does mean that they are in a much better place, as the Bruiser Camp will go down. The cannon minion will also go down. So a little bit of damage to the shields, but nothing lasting. Now it is going to be 3 over onto the objective. And DH Bob just going to be taking the Siege Camp in the meanwhile. Vina Quake or Fox Darkness, they're going to group of 3 as well. And they're looking for the fight, dealing so much damage over to Shootpuff. And Shootpuff at half HP. Don't KS me, bro. Doing so much damage on Toru coming in. And they're able to get Shu down once again. Now Mundane Zebra getting hit over by Diaco. Lots of DPS already at half HP. Mundane Zebra forced to dash out. Will get shown as the real one now. And if they're able to get this Immortal, it could really help out with their map state. And they definitely do need help with the map state. Toru's still fighting with Mundane Zebra. And as a little bit of a fight happens at the boss side, and DH Bob taken down so low. Gonna have the Steel Skin coming out. Jägermeister also decently low. Toru gonna be running towards that. Will be okay. Both sides will be able to just walk away. But the race is currently actually favoring Kirkland Signature Muffins. Toru jumps onto Muffin, trying to get a little bit of a poke down. And yeah, they have to go back. They have to defend. Jägermeister able to get yet another orb, just dealing so much damage. Vina Quaker clearing out these clones. And then meanwhile, we do see Bob and Diaco hitting over on the side. Moon gonna get hit over by the Wandering Keg. And now Moon's kind of in a really bad spot. Will run away and will use the Leap of Faith just to get someone else in to deal them. Light Bomb will be thrown out onto Fox Darkness as the Immortal is getting finished off over on this side. But in the meanwhile, Moon's still very low, still trying to run away. And Moon will go down. Last Rites will finish that off, but the Immortal is also dead. The blind also going to come through. And now they have the stun. They have a lot of damage thrown onto Bob. Dwarf Toss also for the slow. And Toru fighting through the backside, trying to stay alive as long as possible. And will be able to pull the team in. Has the heal. Fox Darkness will come out in time. Mundane Zebra still on the backside and now going to start flailing away onto Toru. A lot of damage done back. And Shootpuff does go in and is able to get the kill. And Jägermeister and Shootpuff, they're kind of stuck. Shootpuff's in a very bad spot. Stormhammer landed, and a lot of damage will come out to get the kill. Don't cast me, bro. Trying to clear out this Immortal. And it's starting to become clear that Kirkland Signature Muffins is just trying to keep this Immortal alive, trying to let it deal as much damage to the core as possible. Going into melee form now. Fox Darkness, Diaco, don't cast me, bro. All trying to deal damage onto it. Vina Quaker able to jump onto Jägermeister. Trying to hide in the minions and will be able to get hit by the Stormhammer. And Vina Quaker gonna get hit away by the ultimate. Sorry, by the Wave of Force. And now the Immortal will go down. They will not be able to end the game without Immortal just because the fighting from Fino and Ñofi was very good there. 56% of HP left onto this core. And that's kind of where you want to be. For Fino and Ñofi, that's about as good as they could get with the situation they had. They were really behind on the initial race, but they were able to win the fight, and that's what they need to do with their composition. It's a fighting composition, and they're kind of able to make it work right now. So now the Bruiser Camp is finished off by Kirkland Signature Muffins, and they're not starting off their own by Fino and Ñofi. And in fact, Toru gonna kind of get caught out, but again, it's a Chen, very tanky, not too worried. And in fact, will go in. The team is now falling behind as the pulse does come through, able to get the blind onto them. As Stormhammer landed onto Shootpuff. Shootpuff will use the face swap, only for a little bit of distance though, and is gonna get stunned. Vina Quaker with another Stormhammer, able to reach onto it. Leap of Faith is gonna be used, but now Bob kind of in the middle of nowhere as another suppression pulse onto all 5. Wandering Keg, and Moon's just kind of getting zoned out, and in fact gonna get shoved in, but not enough. Doesn't have enough time, but Fox Darkness taking a lot of DPS. Light Bomb gonna be used. Stun onto Fox Darkness, and the healing is gone. But in the meanwhile, Mundane Zebra trying to end the game. They did have someone reset for it. Vina Quaker trying to deal as much damage on the back side. And they're able to kill the Sylvanas. Don't KS me, bro, is dead. Diaco is going to be able to zone them away. But in the meanwhile, Toru trying to survive, but won't be able to. 800 HP, 600 HP. A little bit of burning damage. And Jägermeister will be able to finish off Toru. And now the Bruiser Camp is hitting on it. The Cannons are hitting onto it. Diaco's trying to clear as fast as possible, but it's a 5v2 for 35 more seconds. And this is definitely the point of the game. We're Kirkland Signature Muffins. They need to push to the end. They're coming through it. Vina Quaker able to grab it. And now the Suppression Pulse also coming in, and they will be able to finish off Vina Quaker. They will be able to finish off the Melthiel. Diaco is able to respawn, but 1v5. What can Diaco do except run in and be sacrificed once again as Kirkland Signature Muffins dominate Fino and Ñofi? And what a game that was. Fino and Ñofi showing a few signs of life at the start of the game and at the end of the game. But the mid game, the macro being able to play with such cohesion, I think that's what really separated Kirkland Signature Muffins this series. And they were able to play it super well. I was a little bit confused over by the talent choice onto Shootpuff, but if we look at the damage at the end, secondary in DPS, Shootpuff was able to pull out so much damage from this Artanis. Yes, Shootpuff had 7 deaths, by far the most on the team. But the amount of pressure they were able to pull out just through flat damage. They were also naturally very tanky. Artanis has a lot of HP, has that shield, and the suppression pulse is constantly landing on 3 to 5 people. Well played by Kirkland Signature Muffins. They definitely deserve this win, and there's really not much else to say about it. Fino and Ñofi still definitely showing that they can be competitive, and if they clean up their mid game, should be able to do pretty well with that. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna go over to a quick interview with Moon. Give me 1 second just so I can get in the channel. And we'll get that sorted right away. Oh, 1 sec. How do I even copy that? I'm just trying to get this interview set up. They're trying to pull me into a Discord channel that I do not have. Hello? Hello. All right, perfect. How are you doing today? I'm doing really well. Thanks for coming on for this interview. And how are you feeling after that kind of a victory?
I hate my team.
What has your team done?
Just, they try to stifle me. They're like, oh, you shouldn't pick Samuro here. But, it worked anyways, so.
Oh, the Samuro did a fantastic job this game. I've noticed just how much pressure you were able to output, especially in that game number 2. You were able to constantly pull them back to their side of the map. They definitely had the fighting composition over the side of Fino and Ñofi, and just never let them group up for the 5v5. So I'm on your side for this. I think the Samuro was fantastic.
Yes, thank you.
And now to talk about a couple other picks, how'd you feel on that Sergeant Hammer game on that map number 1?
I'm just really good at that hero. Like, I don't know. I just know how to play it, so whenever I pick it, it's an easy win.
Now, was that just a vibes pick just because you felt you were good on that hero? Or did you pick it because you felt something in the draft just kind of allowed you to really push heavily with that Sergeant Hammer?
No, I just felt like picking it.
Okay, definitely can respect that. Now, I also wanted to kind of talk about your compositions because maybe I talked you guys up a lot, but I thought your drafting has been really good this series. I think you guys have been able to get really good team compositions, and you're able to play really fluidly as a team. Now, you say you hate your team, but do you guys practice a lot to be able to get to such a state?
Well, not really. I mean, I just joined like 2 weeks ago, so
I definitely would not have guessed that the way you guys have been playing today.
yeah, yeah.
So now, I believe with that, if I quickly look over at the standings, still pretty far away from the top 2 teams, but how do you feel you guys would do if you were to go up against either Inting for Globes or Mommy's Little Gamers?
We would probably get shit on really quick.
Okay, no censorship there. Not gonna worry about it. Do you feel you have any shot at all?
No, no.
Okay. Well, I don't have any more questions for you, but thank you very much for coming through today, and congratulations on your dominations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll see you around. Hopefully I'll be able to cast another one of your games before the season ends. Good night.
Good night.
Now, with that being said, it's also time to wrap up over here on this TokiB stream. I currently have not picked up any more games on the weekend, though I may, depending what's available. I don't think there even is a game available tomorrow. But as a final shout out, I would like to thank AFK Journey for sponsoring this stream. Be sure to download AFK Journey for free with a link that I'll be pasting in chat shortly. And anyone, just by downloading and installing the game, you're helping support me, and I will be sure to bring that back and cast as many games as possible. Even once the season's over, I intend on doing as many replays as I can. And hopefully you guys will be there to watch, because I just want to get NGS out there. I want every player to be able to watch their games casted. That's my goal. Anyway, thank you all, and have a good night. I'll see you, if not this weekend, then on Monday. Bye-bye, everyone.